Welcome, everyone, back to the best podcast ever. I'm your host, Cam. For the newcomers tuning in, I'm a game developer by day, but by night, I'm obsessed with the mechanics of storytelling and how characters tick. Today, we are diving deep into a character from The Handmaid's Tale, a story that is basically a masterclass in how control stems from the fear of others. We're talking about a woman who is as complex as she is terrifying. But before we get into the heavy stuff, we have a few sponsors that have been helping us get this podcast out as well as funded. I'd like to give a huge shout out to Syndicate Sales for showing absolute support towards my podcast. Look, as a dev, I'm always looking for efficiency. If you've ever wanted to get lower priced goods like food, clothes, games, and other miscellaneous items, then Syndicate Sales is meant for you. They have a fully customizable menu so you can match up exactly what you need, and they even include a cool AI assistant if you can't find what you're looking for. It saves me so much time when I'm crunched on a project. Our second sponsor is Dice Randomizer. This one is close to my heart. It is a free game on all platforms, Google Play and the App Store. You can play as a board master who must defeat monsters, and the higher dice count that you have, the faster and better that you defeat them. It's addictive, trust me. If you click the link in my bio, it'll take you straight to the game and will give you 1 month of free premium pass and 50,000 gold to start. Thank you so much for sponsoring Dice Randomizer. Now let's get into it. The Handmaid's Tale. The character we're dissecting is Serena Joy. She's easily one of the most egocentric and controlling people in the story. But what makes her especially interesting, and what we're going to spend the next 10 minutes or so unpacking, is that she doesn't just use power. Power is a title, power is a gavel. Serena uses fear as a precise tool to maintain that power. Today's episode is all about the one big idea: control through fear, and how Serena Joy uses it, not just on others, but sometimes even on herself. We're going to break this into 3 parts. Number 1, who is Serena Joy and her role in the Gilead? 2, how she uses fear to control her household. 3, the twist, how fear actually controls her. So, who is Serena Joy? To understand Serena Joy, we need to look at who she was before the white wings and red dresses. Serena wasn't always a silent figure sitting in a garden or a bitter woman knitting scarves she didn't need. In the time before, Serena was a public figure. She was a conservative cultural activist and a highly skilled public speaker. She actually wrote books about something she called domestic feminism. Essentially, she spent her career arguing that women should stay at home and find fulfillment in being submissive to their husbands. The irony here is enough to honestly make your head spin. She used her platform, her celebrity, and her loud public voice to advocate for a world where women have no platform, no celebrity, and no voice. She helped build the cage brick by brick, fully believing that she would be the one holding the keys and standing outside the bars. In the current timeline, however, within the Gilead, she is the commander's wife. That is the highest status a woman can achieve in this nightmare society. Yet there's a chilling reality. She's not allowed to read the very books she wrote. She helped create a law that now treats her like a second-class citizen. We first meet her through the eyes of the protagonist, Offred. She is in her garden. She's clicking her shears and cutting tulips. It's such a perfect metaphor, right? She nurtures life just so she can control it, and eventually she clips it. She's a woman of great composure, but there is a bone-deep coldness to her that sets the tone for the entire house. Now we will discuss how she uses fear to control others. So, How exactly does she keep her position when technically the laws of the Gilead give her no real legal authority? If the commander decided to replace her, she'd be gone. So she has to rule her domestic domain through psychological warfare. So, here's my point one: power over the household. Serena wields absolute power over the Marthas, the domestic servants, and the handmaids. Her weapon isn't a gun, it is the constant threat of the eyes or the wall. Think about the scene where Serena finds out about Offred's transgressions. She doesn't just get angry, she gets tactical. She threatens to have Offred sent to the wall, or worse. She hints at harming Offred's daughter, who was taken from her. That is the ultimate fear based control. Taking the one thing she loves and using it as a hostage for their own good behavior. Which brings me to my second point: the ceremony. We have to talk about the ceremony. It's one of the most ritualized, horrific parts of this world. Serena isn't just a spectator, she's a participant. By holding Offred's hands during by holding Offred's hands during the act, she asserts her dominance, in which she says, "You are a tool, and I am the one using you." She frames herself as a superior being, making the handmaid feel terrified and replaceable, which is quite cruel when you think about that. Now, my third point is the motherhood carrot. Serena knows that for a handmaid, a baby is the only ticket to staying alive and avoiding the colonies. She uses this. She offers motherhood as a carrot on a stick. If offered is good, Serena shows small acts of kindness, maybe a cigarette or a bit of news. And if offered is bad, she's met with a cold, soul crushing solitude. Serena treats human connection like currency that can devalue anyone at any point. Now, part three: how fear controls her. This is where Serena Joy stops being a one dimensional villain and becomes a tragic figure. Because here's the truth: Serena Joy is just as terrified as Offred. She's a victim of the very fear she propagates. She is in a constant state of paranoia in the Gilead. If a wife doesn't produce a child, or if she falls out of favor with her husband, she could be declared an unwoman, and sent to the colonies to clean up toxic waste until she dies. Every time she snaps at a Martha, or threatens Offred, it is a defensive move. She cannot afford to show a single drop of compassion because in her mind, compassion is a vulnerability. And in the Gilead, vulner, vulnerability is a death sentence. She's also afraid of the society she built with her own hands. There are moments in the story where she looks at her old speeches and or touches a book she isn't allowed to read. You can see the realization on her face when she created a world that robbed her of her own intellectual strength. That rage we see, that spite, it isn't just spiritless, or what the sorry, it isn't just mean spiritedness. It's a reaction to the fear of losing her identity. She's a prisoner in a mansion surrounded by people who hate her, married to a man who barely even looks at her. She uses fear to fight other people's fear, hoping that if everyone else is more scared than she is, she might be safe. We see throughout the story, however, that nobody is ever truly safe in a world built on terror. So, where does that leave us off in the end? So, here are my closing thoughts in all of this. She's Serena Joy is a reminder that when you build a system based on control and fear, you eventually get trapped in it yourself. She wanted to be the queen of the household, but she ended up as a jailer who can't even leave her own jail. As a game developer, I look at Serena and I see a character with high control stats, but zero freedom stats. It's a losing build in the long run. But with that, I thank you all for sticking through this deep dive with me. Don't forget to check out Syndicate Sales for those customizable deals and download Dice Randomizer using the link in my bio to get that 5K gold boost. I've been Cam. This has been the Control Through Fear podcast. I'll catch you guys in the next episode where we might look at the eyes and how surveillance changes behavior. Stay safe and stay curious.